Hey, good morning, everyone. This is Brandon from LazyBets. This is our first live stream of our picks today. Trying out some new things. Obviously, we've picked up in popularity quite quickly on the website. We're trying to build some of the social channels out as well so that you guys can get to know us a little bit more and know the people who are helping you make your selections with your picks. And so that's really what our in-game is here. At LazyBets, it's about driving the most value for you. So we're going to jump right in. Major League Baseball's 55-38 on the season, providing our readers with quite a bit of value in terms of free picks. And if you've been following us, you've made a good deal of profit on Major League Baseball. Today, our picks focus on the Boston Red Sox and Chris Sale. Chris Sale will be pitching for the Sox today. He's got a 2.75 ERA. As we cover in the article, he's never actually had an ERA over 3.4, and he's always pitched at least 174 innings, which is really, really remarkable. He's facing off today against Jose Barrios of the Twins, who has a good track record. He's 24 years old, but he's not really in the same level as Sale, nor does he have the same offense behind him. The matchup really favors the Red Sox, and that's why they're seeing quite a bit of odds today at BetOnline.ag, Bovada, some of our top sports books that we do review for U.S.-based players. They are available for you. You should absolutely visit our website if you haven't known this before. So the Sox at minus 172 at BetOnline is as good as it's going to get today. Obviously, we are laying quite a bit of odds there, but we do lay these from time to time. It does pay to pick favorites, and that's the type of thing that gets you a 55-38 record, is not reaching for odds and long shots. We would have paid minus 200 tonight for this. This is going to be a Red Sox win. But minus 172 will definitely take on BetOnline, and you should too. If you're not a BetOnline member, they're giving a 50% deposit bonus right now for the World Cup on up to $1,000. Just check out our website, click on the link, and you'll be able to access that. In addition, we have a stacked game of World Cup here. We've got Egypt and Russia. We've also got Senegal taking on Poland today. Our first pick was very off the wall. We picked Colombia. Colombia actually came out and got a red card in the third minute. If you're familiar with Luis Suarez's play back in the World Cup, I believe it was 8 years ago against Ghana, you'll remember when he had a handball on the line and got sent off. I believe it was in the World Cup quarterfinal. There was a similar play today in Colombia's game. The only difference is that Colombia is obviously in the first leg of the group stage, and this was the third minute of the game. So the defender who obviously placed his hand on that ball will probably not be seeing much more of this World Cup, especially if Colombia fails to advance, which they may after they lost to Japan in game one. So this group becomes very reliant on Senegal and Poland and what happens right now here in about 28 minutes. Senegal is obviously featuring Sadio Mane of Liverpool. It's a young team. There's a lot of talent on it. A lot of it plays out in France. And Senegal is one of the lesser known teams in the tournament. Poland also lesser known in terms of overall players. Robert Lewandowski is the most notable member of the Polish squad. He plays for Bayern Munich in Germany. He is an absolute poacher. He's been that way for years, and he is the most threatening person on the Polish team. If somebody's going to score for Poland, it will likely be Robert Lewandowski. And similarly for Senegal, I believe Mane will get quite a few chances in this game. But if you are a Liverpool supporter, if you watch any meaningful amount of Senegal fixtures, you know that Sadio Mane takes a lot of shots. He gets himself in a lot of great positions, but at the end of the day, he doesn't always net the final chance. And so I believe this game will either fall to Poland today or fall in favor of a draw. I am not personally, and we are not betting this game at LazyBets, but that is our feedback on the Senegal-Poland game. If you are looking to bet it, draw would probably be my biggest hunch because I think those two are headed for that. But Poland could easily win as well. African teams have definitely struggled against European sides. We wrote that in an article just a few days ago. In terms of the late game, there is tremendous value on an underdog, and we have to point it out to you. If you watched Egypt in the first round of their World Cup, they played very, very well against a Uruguay side that was very favored, and it became even more favored when Mo Salah didn't actually make the roster for the starting 11 for Egypt. Egypt ended up fading out in that game late and gave up a very, very late goal to lose to Uruguay. But you can see the strategy behind the Egyptian manager as he saves Mo Salah for two more winnable games, in my opinion, against Saudi Arabia and Russia. I find Russia's 5-0 win over Saudi Arabia to be more of a telltale sign of how bad the Saudis are, as opposed to how good Russia is. I'm sure Russia's getting a boost from playing at home, but the Saudis aren't really known for being very lethal in this tournament, and they certainly don't have a roster that's got a ton of talent on it now. 5-0 win says it all for a Russia team that is not ranked very highly in the world rankings. Honestly, world rankings mean nothing, but there's not a lot of talent on that Russian team. That leaves this Egypt contest very interestingly perched to me. At 3.2 to 1 odds for the Egyptians, and that's been sliding back and forth on BetOnline today. You're getting a tremendous amount of odds on a team that needs to win this game, saved Salah for this game, and sees themselves as having a very real chance of winning this game. They're very well regimented defensively. They stuck with the Uruguayans without one of the best players in world football, and quite frankly, I just don't see Russia as nearly as good. I think we're seeing an over-betting of the Russian side, obviously, on Russian sportsbook activity. This is a big tournament for Russian-based bettors and European bettors in general. There's also not a lot of people in Africa who bet on the games. It's just not as readily available, making Egypt an interesting choice here because there's just not a lot of volume coming in on their side. At 3.2 to 1 with Mo Salah back in the lineup as hopefully confirmed this morning, I see too much upside in the Egyptian side not to place at least a small wager. I do recommend a medium-sized bet on this particular one, so that you can take a shot on what I think is probably a 2 to 1 shot normally. I can't really understand why we're getting so much value on this, but we're going to take it and we're going to run with it. Those are our picks for today, y'all. We've got an article coming out on NBA draft odds. There's some exciting stuff around the NBA going on right now, but we're trying to focus on what we can wager on, and that's largely the World Cup and baseball right now. Again, baseball's 55-38. Football's all over the place. We're around even for the bankroll. But today's picks are out there. There's bonuses out there for you, and you should really go and take advantage of it. So visit LazyBets.com. Check it out if you want more information.